Gentlemen, nephews, welcome back to Swipe Smarter. And tonight we're talking about one of the most frustrating things that happen to men on dating apps right now. You open Bumble, you see the notifications, nephews, you've been watching, so you're getting matches, but nothing happens after that. The conversation dies, she stops replying. Uh, she says she's busy, or she could even just disappear. And after a while, a man starts asking himself a dangerous question. Is there something wrong with women? But tonight, we're going to slow that down and give you some real game here, because most of the time, it's not the women, it's the profile. Nephews, a lot of men think that the goal of dating apps is matches. It's not. Sure, matches are curiosity, but dates, nephews, that's the qualification. And if you're getting matches, but you're never getting the meetup, well, that tells us something real simple here. Your profile is creating interest, but it's not creating trust, attraction, or leadership. And women, they don't meet men they're curious about. Nephews, they meet men they believe in. So tonight, we're going to break down real Bumble dating profiles live on this stream, and we're going to show you exactly where men lose game between the match and the meetup, because there are patterns. Things like photo mistakes that can kill your momentum the moment she opens your profile. Bios, nephews, that sound harmless, but really they're communicating insecurities. Nice guy energy that feels polite, but it removes every ounce of attraction. And the biggest one of all, men who are trying to be liked instead of showing a life worth joining. See, the truth most men don't want to hear is this. Most dating profiles, they're not rejected. They're simply unqualified. And that's actually good news, nephews, because qualification is a skill. But tonight, it's not about getting dates. It's about something deeper that most men never seem to learn. It's the same mindset that gets you better results on dating apps is the same mindset that protects your life from the wrong women. Because the man who doesn't know how to present himself properly usually doesn't know how to vet properly either. He lets attraction do the thinking. He lets attention feel like validation. And before he realizes it, he's invested time, energy, and even peace into women who were never aligned with his life to begin with. So tonight, nephews, we're here to do two things. First, we're here to show you how to build a profile that turns matches into real dates. But secondly, nephews, we're going to show you how a man learns to look at women differently, not from desperation, not from validation, but from self-governance. Because when a man respects himself, the entire game changes. He stops asking questions like, how do I get her to like me? And he starts asking the question that actually matters. Is this woman qualified to be in my life? Okay, and that's when dating, it stops being chaos. It starts becoming discernment. So nephews, if you're getting matches, but no dates, if you're tired of conversations that go nowhere, if you want to understand the difference between attention and respect, then tonight's episode is going to give you the game, because matches aren't the goal. Dates are. And the right woman isn't someone you chase. She's someone who recognizes the man you've already become. All right, nephews, let's get into this. Johnny, my name is William. Nephews, I'm your certified ump tonight. Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I'm Johnny Dumbbell, and this over here is Jesse the Inzer Cat, who just took off. I'm a personal trainer and life coach out here in beautiful Pittsburgh, where, boy, the Pens are taking a spanking right now to the Buffalo Sabres. I feel some kind of way about that. But this weekend, the Riverhounds kick off. It's going to be opening day. It's not going to be a home game, but I'm going to be glued to the TV for that one. So a lot of really exciting things coming up for Pittsburgh sports. But I'm not here to talk about that. And I'm actually not even here to talk about my successes, because I've never actually been some guru who knew how to get the girl every time. I'm here to share what I've learned from mostly my failures. And by that, I mean, things like self-confidence, self-respect, self-improvement, uh, women, relationships, personal growth. And by that, I mean, like, of course, physical, mental, and spiritual, emotional, whatever you want to call it. Um, my disclaimer for you nephews is this: if you are contemplating doing something and maybe it sounds stupid, reckless, expensive, fiscally irresponsible, or any other way irrationally stupid, talk to us first. Leave it in the comments. Shoot us a message. Shoot me an email, whatever it is. I'll put it in the live chat. One of us has probably done something similar to the stupid thing you're contemplating, and you're going to need us to talk you out of it. We help you make the mistake of simping in most of these cases. Remember, simps are simps are not victims; they are volunteers, and they will continue to volunteer for as long as they're allowed to volunteer. And that's the key word: allowed. Anyway, in short, we're the screw up uncles who, we screwed up so you don't have to.
Well said, Johnny. All right, give me 1 second here. I'll tell you what. While I am bringing up the dating profiles tonight, Johnny, you got a dating story you'd like to share with the nephews, don't you?
I do, actually. This is going to be a good one too, because pull that up real quick. So this one comes in. What was his name? Comes in from TJ. TJ says, one time I got catfished. The woman looked cute and average in size. I think he means medium build in her pictures on her profile. She showed up looking about 200 pounds larger than her profile showed. She also had large. We're gonna say she had some acne that didn't show up in any of the photos. So I sat there awkwardly listening to her talk while I tried thinking of an excuse to leave. My phone made an update sound. It was like an ESPN alert or something like that. She heard it and asked if someone texted me. Then I had an idea. I pretended I had gotten a text. I claimed my mom was having a medical emergency and I had to go. I got out of there. While I was driving back home, the catfisher texted me saying she knows that I lied about the text and that I left because she is not attractive. She then sends texts saying that men are never attracted to her and she will never find someone. I told her she should do something to improve herself and not put inaccurate pictures of herself on a dating app. So I guess what ended up happening was they lied to each other. I mean, look, hey, like I said, this isn't the kind of thing that I say, hey, don't, this is some sort of warning against online dating. Not at all. But this is why we have those conversations where, maybe if you're feeling something's off, maybe you suggest a video chat or something like that. But yeah, I don't think he's looking for advice here. He just thought it was kind of a crazy story and wanted to share that with us. TJ, thanks, brother. I'm going to send you a copy of the Johnny Dumbbell Challenge, complete with total body workouts. Bill, you got anything on that?
Yeah, actually, Johnny, I think we should talk about this for a minute. Nephews, all right, let's talk about something that happens to a lot of men who spend time on dating apps. All right, you show up to the date, and the woman who walks in is not the woman from the photos.
Bruh.
Okay, maybe the photos were old. I'm not saying 10 years old, but let's just say they're old.
They're 10 years old.
All right. Maybe like Johnny's saying, the angles do all the work. They're all from, up top. Maybe it was the filters doing the heavy lifting. Who knows? But
listen, if they're all from this angle right here, do you see this angle through all of them? Yeah.
All right. A lot of you guys panic in that moment. All right. You get awkward. You feel tricked. Some of you even feel embarrassed. So what do? You do exactly what this guy did here and make an excuse. I forgot I had to be somewhere. I need to go fold my dishes. My buddy needs help. I just remembered I have to leave early. But nephews, that's actually the lowest power move that you could make. All right. And look, I'll tell you why, because when you lie to exit a situation, you're still letting the situation control you. A self-governed man does not panic. He stays calm, respectful, and direct at all times. Now, a better way, nephew, that you could have handled this was ordered a coffee, said hello, had a short conversation, and let me tell you why, nephew, because integrity matters.
No, he said he did do that.
Integrity matters. Just because someone misrepresented themselves doesn't mean you lose your character. Nephew, you give it 10, 15 minutes of normal conversation. All right. Then if you realize the attraction isn't there, you close it cleanly. And that's simple. It's a high integrity exit. I'll give you the game on this, nephew. You say something simple and respectful. Hey, I'm glad we got a chance to meet up, but I don't really think we're the right match. But I do appreciate you coming out tonight. That's it. No insults, no drama, no ghosting at the table, no excuses about your mom. Just clarity. All right. And here's the funny part. Most men are terrified to say something like that. But women,
Well, I mean, they're being chastised for being
far more
superficial
than
when they do
awkward
that, though.
excuses, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, these young men are afraid to say things, though, because again, they're being raised by these folks, by people who are telling them that shouldn't ever matter in any situation. That's what these guys are led to believe. And so they think it's not okay for the appearance to be the reason to not go through with the date. They think it's not okay that she doesn't look as hot as the picture that he was initially attracted to. And for some reason, that it's not okay that you need to still have some sort of physical, biological, sexual attraction to somebody if you're going to progress in a relationship. I mean, it just can't happen without that.
All right, now, if I'm going to give you some deeper game here, because we appreciate you writing in, especially for our Monday show. Nephews, write into Johnny with your questions. I'll get his email up on the chat. I should have it in the bio. I don't. I have some of our other social medias on the bio. You can find them on there. Write them on there. You can write me. I'll go ahead and get that started. But here, it's really, nephews, the deeper game here. It's about vetting before the date ever happens. All right, a lot of catfish situations, they could have been avoided with one simple step. A quick video call, few minutes, face-to-face, no filters, no angle, no mystery. If she refuses a quick FaceTime before meeting, that's pretty valuable information. And a man who respects his time pays attention to information.
Yeah, and not only do we forgive you for having that kind of a boundary, we highly recommend and encourage you to have that as a boundary. If that's your boundary, I mean, that's your boundary.
All right,
we're not meeting without a video call. Yeah, absolutely.
Remember this, nephew. Dating isn't just about attraction. It's about discernment. The same way you vet women for honesty, values, and character, you also vet for authenticity. All right. And when something feels off, you don't panic, you stay calm, you stay respectful, and you move with integrity, because the strongest position a man can have in dating is knowing he can walk away without losing his composure. That's the real power, nephews. All right. So we're going to move on to some of our dating profiles tonight. And unless you have questions, nephews, call in with your questions. Here's our number. We'd love to answer your questions live on the show for you. If nothing else, Johnny, I'm going to get on to our first profile here. Give me just a second. Now, nephews, I'm going to be jumping back and forth between the profiles tonight. I do have to preview them and make sure that there's nothing in them that I can't share. All right, hold on, Johnny. I'm having a problem.
All
right, I think my DMs are covered up. My DMs have been hopping, Johnny. I got a couple matches in my queue.
Oh, man.
If we match with any women live tonight, I'm going to go ahead and give you the nephews the game on how to initiate the contact on that. All right, Johnny. First up tonight, we got Jen. She's 45. Went to Westminster Theological Seminary.
Oh, wow.
About Jen. Let's love and follow Jesus every day.
Bless that bitch.
Never stop learning. DIY together. Laugh a lot. Host enough parties for all the recipes in my cookbook collection. Lots of
Hang on a
hiking.
second. DIY together. What are we dipping in yogurt together?
Bruh.
All right. Now,
Sounds
I
great,
got a
though.
problem with that, Johnny, but I was going to read through the rest of the bio before I address that. All right. Where were we? Lots of hiking, spend time outdoors, be sarcastic, team up, crush goals, travel, build beautiful things together. Okay, Johnny, what do you think so far from the bio?
I mean, she's got a well put together, bio things that she's into. She's kind of not only telling you what she's looking for, but it does seem to project what she offers as part of her own personality. So it kind of gives us a glimpse into the kind of conversation at the very least you can expect, which sounds like it might be a pretty intellectual one.
All right, nephews, sometimes these women are not for me, but the point of this show is to teach you how to vet women's profiles. And just because a woman might not be for me, she might not be aligned for me, doesn't mean that she might not be a good fit for you. There's a lot of good women out here. You just got to know how to vet them. So whether she's for me or not, I'm still going to give you the game on how to get at this woman. In case you come across this profile yourself, if this is something you're interested in, if this is your type, we're going to show you how to start swiping smarter. All right. So to me, Johnny, all right, when I look at this bio, and nephews, you got to understand, Johnny and I have been doing this show for about 2 years. We have so much experience with women's online dating profiles. I think the only thing I have more experience is dating women in real life. So I see things. I see patterns. I see the same pattern in a lot of the profiles. And I don't want to say it's by age, but there's definitely patterns. So when I see patterns like lots of hiking, spending time outdoors, be sarcastic, team up, crush goals, travel, build beautiful things together, nephews, this is what I call a vision board bio.
Bruh.
Okay, women write profiles like this when they're imagining the relationship they want. All right, but the important signal for men is this phrase: team up, crush goals. All right, that means she's seeing relationship as collaboration, not just romance. All right,
Yep.
So nephews, this means that she wants a man who has motion in his life already. If your profile looks passive or even lonely, you're going to get filtered out by women like this. Now, me personally, I like women who follow my lead. I like women who can follow instructions. When I see team up and crush goals combined with DIY together, it really makes me think that I'm going to be spending a lot of my free time doing things for this woman, and that's just not.
Bruh.
That's not for me. I don't know, Johnny. What do you think?
I mean, I would be interested in knowing what DIY actually means to her. What are we talking about? Are we talking about me cleaning your gutters, or are we talking about building a friggin' birdhouse?
Bruh.
Either one, I don't got time for.
I don't see. I like doing shit like that though.
All right. Well, let's see if what we got here for prompts for Jen. So it does say she's looking for something casual. So that may mean something different to me than it does to her. But
I mean, if you're gonna
we're putting the
follow
cart
Jesus
before the horse,
casually,
right? All right. She says, win me over by initiating. Yes, you being yourself, teaching me something, making me laugh.
Okay, so I mean, she's looking for a lead to follow in most of what she's saying there. Elicit a reaction from me that is positive. Teach me something, take the lead, and show me how to do something. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, Johnny,
Initiating.
this is kind of like a green flag, I'd say. She's telling you
Yep.
directly what she respects. Masculine initiative.
Yeah, I mean that's the first part of it.
All right, women say this all the time in different ways, though. Make me laugh, lead the conversation, take initiative. But what she's really saying, nephews, is don't be passive. And a lot of men, they match with women like Jen here, and they immediately send messages like, hey, and then wonder why nothing happens. Right? Women who write initiate, they're not looking for a man who needs instructions on how to do it.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here, Johnny. She says, together we could laugh, cook, browse bookstores, dance, do yard work, hike, compare punny jokes, DIY, watch baseball, take road trips, quote, movies, go out, stay in.
It's a wide range of stuff, but it's all stuff that I'd be into if it was me.
Okay, well, this tells you something important about what her relationship model looks like. And there's nothing
outdoorsy
wrong
type,
with
a little
that.
bit, yeah.
She wants companionship. All right. And this is like, I would call this a domestic adventure hybrid lifestyle. It's not party energy. It's not nightlife energy. She's describing a man who enjoys building things, traveling, someone who actually enjoys home projects, which I really don't. Simple and shared experiences. And a lot of men, well, they misread this and they think, oh, cool, she likes hiking. Well, that's not a signal. The signal is she wants someone to build a life with. All right, give me a second here. Nephews, call in with your questions. It can be dating related, fitness related. We do have Johnny Dumbbell, a fitness expert, on the panel. If you're struggling with any of your fitness goals, please call up. All right, Johnny. Next prompt here. She says, my dream is to visit every country in Europe. Every ballpark in the USA. Let's go. Find an awesome teammate to serve God with and do all life's adventures with. And again, she has crush goals.
This better not be like AI, like over and over here.
All right. Visit every country in Europe, every baseball park in the USA. Find an awesome teammate to serve God with. Now we're getting to the values layer. And I would say I'm picking up three major signals here, Johnny. Faith matters to her, travel matters to her, and partnership matters to her.
Yeah, that's that wifey talk there.
The word teammate shows up again. That's intentional. She wants a relationship that feels like a shared mission, not just dating. Now, nephews, for your own vetting lesson tonight, here's where men get this wrong. All right. A lot of guys are going to see a profile like Jen's here and immediately think, oh, yeah, she likes hiking. She likes baseball. But that's surface level thinking. The real question you should be asking yourself is, does her lifestyle match mine? Does she actually live an adventurous life, or is she just talking about it? Does she value partnership, or does she want a man to carry the whole relationship? Because remember something, nephews, a profile is marketing. Real vetting happens after the match.
Yeah, this is the foot in the door.
Now, nephews, if you want to match with a woman like Jen, your move is simple. You lead with direction and not small talk. I would. Okay, you could say something like, Jen, I saw the baseball and traveling thing. If we have one free weekend right now, are we driving to a national park or catching a game somewhere? Now, by doing this, what you're really doing is you're doing three things, nephew. You're showing that you read the profile, you're creating momentum, and most importantly, you're leading the interaction. And that's how matches become dates. Johnny, I got to say, Jen's profile probably illustrates tonight's episode perfectly. Because if a man's profile is weak, he's still going to get matches from women like this, but he's not going to get investment. Women don't meet men who look interesting. They meet men who look capable of building the life they're describing. Yeah. Right. And that's the difference between curiosity and attraction.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like she wants to kind of be the traveling trad wife because, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. She's pretty much saying, hey, you're going to be taking the lead if this is going to work. She's, putting out that very feminine, very, I want to be that partner with you, kind of energy here. But, she makes it clear she wants him to take that lead, initiate, teach me something. She definitely wants to kind of have that, sort of connection.
All right. So, Johnny, while I don't think this is a bad profile at all,
no, it's a good one.
I don't think it's really in alignment with me. She just, there's too much that she's looking for that I'm not. We're going to go ahead and pass on this one tonight, nephews.
Later, Jen.
All right. Now, before we go over Eve here, I need to preview this profile, make sure that there's nothing in here that's going to get us flagged.
While he's doing that, if anybody has
a game, go ahead, Johnny.
I'm sorry. While he's doing that, if you have any great stories about online dating, anything that was weird, funny, hilarious, scary, whatever happens to be, leave it in the live chat, leave it in the comments. We'd love to read it.
All right, so we got to make a decision tonight. And I don't have IG up, but this has Eve's IG in it. So if we share this profile. All right. So I'm going to say let's run it, Johnny. I mean, this is about teaching these young men how to date online. Okay. Next profile, Eve, 27. There's very little information in her bio. It says, yes, I'm real, photo verified, and then it has her IG tag. I know. There is some other important information in here. It says that she's sober, and it does say that she's looking for a relationship.
Maybe, Bill, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. This is why I need all of you to go to my Instagram, PGH Trainer 412, and follow, because I got to tell you, maybe I should be putting my Instagram into a profile. That wouldn't look tacky, would it?
Hey, everybody, if you're watching us on IG, go ahead and follow Johnny on IG.
Yeah, don't make me put my IG. Don't make me put my IG in my dating profile, please.
All right. Right away, I'm seeing something that becomes extremely common on dating apps right now, Johnny. There's almost no bio. And the only thing it says is, yes, I'm real, photo verified, and she drops her IG tag. Now, let's slow this down because this could actually
I want to pump the brakes on the first sentence in there.
This could tell us a lot, even though it barely says anything at all. All right. This is a low effort profile. When a woman gives you almost no information, nephews, it means one of two things. Either she expects her photos to do all the work, or she's not actually using the app to meet men.
Bruh. Yeah.
And when you see an Instagram handle in the bios, nephew, that's usually the second one.
But the simps think they're going to slide into her IG DMs and just have a mind-blowing conversation with her, skipping that whole dating profile chat rigmarole. Yeah, I mean, those guys are going to go to her Instagram, they're going to like, and they're going to comment, and I mean, honest to God, those comments are going to be cringy as all hell.
Nephews, this is what we call a traffic funnel profile. And
I was going to say a like farmer.
Yeah, the goal here isn't to date you. It's to move you off the app and onto IG. Why? Because IG gives her followers, it gives her
Mm-hmm.
attention, it gives her validation, and nephew, it gives her potential monetization.
Yep.
Bruh.
So the yes, I'm real line. And I mean,
Oh,
I find this interesting too because the women that
yes, I
usually
know. I'm
write
hot, but I
this,
promise you I'm real.
the women that usually write this when they're used to men saying stuff like, "Are you a bot?" So
Well,
she's
yeah.
trying to establish credibility quickly. But nephews, the irony is this: when the only thing in the bio is "I'm real" and an IG tag, it actually makes the profile feel more transactional.
Yeah.
Now, here's the Instagram trap. And this is where a lot of men lose the game. Look, they match with a woman like this and they immediately think, cool, she gave me her IG. So they turn around and they go follow her. Now, what just happened? You turn yourself from a potential date into a follower, and followers don't get dates. Followers, nephews, become attention.
They get called something else, Uncle Bill. They get called orbiters. You don't want to be an orbiter, okay?
Well, okay, there's a vetting lesson in all of this. And this is
Yep.
where discernment matters, nephew. When a profile gives you no personality, no lifestyle, no effort, you have to ask yourself a simple question. Is she trying to meet someone or is she trying to collect attention? Because those are two completely different dynamics.
And I promise you
Now,
guys, the guys that go to her Instagram and do the like thing and do comments, and leave comments on all of her posts, those are the kind of weak-minded individuals that girls like this may or may not be trying to take advantage of too. So you got to consider that. The dopamine rush that you'll experience getting a message back from her, if you're one of those guys, is going to blow your head clean off your neck. And it's it's sad to see, but it's one of those things where if that's what's going on here, you best just kind of swipe left here.
all right, nephews, if you match with somebody like Eve here, the move is simple. All right. You don't leave the app immediately. You keep the interaction where it started and you give a direct message with momentum. Like I'd say something along the lines of, hey, Eve, quick question. Are you actually trying to meet someone here or just recruiting Instagram followers?
Yeah, I mean,
Bruh.
Now I've done two things, nephews. I have showed awareness and I set a boundary. If women who are genuinely dating will respond, and women who are farming attention will disappear, and that's actually a win. Look, here's a bigger lesson for you, nephews. A lot of men think dating apps are about getting as many matches as possible, and they're not. They're about qualifying the right people quickly. And profiles like this, well, they're actually helpful because they reveal low investment immediately, which means you don't have to waste your time. All right. So our swipe smarter rule is if a profile has no bio, Instagram handle, and zero personality, that's not a dating profile. That's a marketing profile.
that's a
And a
fishing net.
self-governed man knows the difference. Now, let's see what else we got here.
And sadly, the kind of guys that will go to her Instagram, it's a pretty big fucking net.
All right, prompt here says what makes a relationship great is great communication and a lot of spontaneity.
Ooh. So, the predictability of communication and the excitement of spontaneity. Now, I'm not saying you can't want both of those things, but I am going to say that we just got hit with what, two company lines over the course of 7 or 8 words.
Bruh.
Johnny,
Oh,
go
but
ahead
she's
and
pretty. Well, no, you know what? Never mind, Bill. She's pretty, man. Swipe right.
Johnny, I'm glad that you brought up the company line. All right. And okay. Nephews, the line here, what makes a relationship great is communication and a lot of spontaneity. Now, on the surface, this may sound good to you, but in fact, one of those lines, okay, one everybody is going to agree with. All right, but let's slow this down and read what's actually being signaled here. The communication part. When someone emphasizes communication, that usually means one of two things. Either they value emotional transparency or they've been in a relationship where communication was the problem. So, what she's actually telling you is, I want someone who talks things through, who doesn't shut down, who can handle conversations when things get uncomfortable.
Or it could be along the same lines of I love deep conversations, which sounds kind of profound, but often means they just like to talk about themselves. Could be that too.
All right.
Not saying it is. Could be.
All right. Next prompt. She says, my perfect Sunday includes sleeping in, being in nature, and a self-care treat. And then the last prompt here says, don't be mad if she says, don't text a lot. I like communicating in person more than anything. Texting to me is such an uninteresting and lazy way to get to know somebody.
All right. So she's not saying I'm not going to respond, right? She's saying that I'd rather talk on the phone than exchange text messages.
Well, what I
Right?
got here, she likes communicating in person.
Okay. Well, I mean, whichever. Yeah.
Okay. Sleeping in, being in nature, self-care treat. I mean, who doesn't like sleeping in?
I mean, honestly, yeah. Sunday mornings, if I'm going to be in nature, I like to get up a little earlier than I would if I was just kind of lazy around the house. But yeah, I mean, that's I kind of get down with either one.
All right, nephews, let's keep breaking down this profile piece by piece. This is actually, I'd say, pretty common lifestyle signal for women in their late 20s. What she's describing here is, I'd call it balanced energy. Sleeping in, that means she's not the rigid early morning grind type. Nature to me means she likes calm environment, outdoors, walking trails, parks. Self-care, that's like spa, coffee shop, brunch, nails, massage, something relaxing. So this is kind of telling us that she values pace and comfort, not chaos. So a guy whose life is constant nightlife, partying every weekend, bar hopping, it's probably not aligned with her rhythm. And this is why reading these prompts matter, nephews. They're telling you what her weekends look like. And relationships are mostly built in weekends and downtime, not highlight moments.
Yep.
I don't know, Johnny. I'm really not feeling it.
Yeah, chat. Well, we're both kind of thinking left. Anybody want to change our mind? Let's see it.
Yeah, Chad, if you think I should swipe right on Eve here, put me on game and let me know why.
So far, all we got is she's pretty.
All right, Johnny, I think we're going to move on here. I think we'll do at least one more, maybe two more tonight.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
And I don't have a single match yet, do I?
No, we're 0 for 3 here.
All right. Well, we're gonna pass on Eve as well. Oh man. All right, Johnny.
Enjoy the rest
I'll
of your
go ahead
Eve.
and preview the profile, but I gotta tell you.
Oh, this one's got. I hope to God we can show this one. This is going to be great. I love these.
Oh, you think this is going to be great?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this one's. It's going to be a roast. I'm sorry, it's going to be a roast. what I think it is. But yeah, I love it. If anybody thinks Uncle Bill should swipe right, well, let's not put the cart in front of the horse.
All right. Well, I can show it. So,
Here we go.
Johnny, you're so excited for Trish's profile.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we Gen Xers were children, we were told that if we made a certain face, that it would freeze like that, and apparently it has happened to Trish.
Okay.
All right, but I mean, so a silly side of her personality. I don't know if I'd make that the lead photo, but let's see what we got. I got to see the bio on this.
All right, next profile, Trish. About Trish. I may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm someone's double shot of Crown.
I've heard that one before, but I still think it's funny.
Bruh.
Crown, though. All right, so we're going to go cheap on the whiskey. All right, cool.
Well, oh, man. Okay. So she works out sometimes. She drinks socially. She's a Pisces. Never smokes. Okay, Johnny. I may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm someone's double shot of Crown. This line right here, probably, I'm going to call it right now. This is going to tell us a lot about her personality. All right. What Trish is trying to communicate here is, I'm not trying to appeal to everyone. And nephews, that's actually a confidence signal. And people who say things like this are usually comfortable being polarizing. All right. She's telling you up front, some people are going to like me, some people aren't, and that she's okay with that.
Right.
Now, the double shot of Crown reference matters. Okay, yes, Crown is a whiskey reference, and this usually signals social drinking, nightlife, playful edge, or even sarcastic and bold humor. It's not like tea and
or she gets drunk and hits you with brass knuckles.
This is like bar banter energy. So immediately, nephews, you're looking at a woman who probably enjoys social environments, going out, and playful teasing. Now, when someone says they're not everyone's cup of tea, what that means is she probably has some real strong opinions. There's a lot of sarcastic humor and possibly a little spicy personality. All right, which some men love. All right, and some men can absolutely not handle. And that's the point. She's filtering for men who enjoy high personality women. So the vetting lesson here, fellas, is, well, here's the
short
mistake.
Of disrespect,
Here's the mistake a lot of you guys are going to make. They hear this line and you think, oh, cool, she sounds fun. But the real question a self-governed man is asking is, fun for how long? Because high energy personality types, they can be exciting. She can be playful. She can be adventurous, but she can also be chaotic. She could also be argumentative. She could also be emotionally intense. And you don't assume either one. You just observe over time. Now, if you match with a woman like Trish here, nephews, you lean into the playful frame that she's already opened. All right, an example would be double shot of Crown. That sounds like someone who either tells great stories or causes them. Yeah. Now you're doing two things here, nephews. You're matching her playful tone, and you're showing confidence instead of interviewing this woman.
And to be fair, she could just
go ahead, Johnny.
I'd say, to be fair, she could just be that girl that you drive past that's arguing with her boyfriend out in front of their double wide over one of them stealing the cat, and there's no sign of the cat. So, I mean, that could be the double shot of Crown part, but we'll see.
Nephews, profiles like Trish remind us of something important. Okay, dating apps are not about finding the most appealing person to everyone. They're about finding someone who fits your energy. And when someone shows personality early, that's actually helpful because it gives you something real to vet.
Mhm.
Okay, the next prompt here says, Johnny, my real life superpower is attracting men that find their forever home after me. But nah, it's really never finding the right guy.
I mean, maybe it's just that she hasn't fit any of the programs. I mean, these guys moved on to solid relationships after her, and here she is still bouncing around. That's kind of telling.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And for the love of God, when is leopard print going to be finally cliche?
You don't like leopard print, Johnny?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just everybody does it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't feel one way about it or the other. All right, nephews. This prompt
Next
right
show, I'm
here.
wearing my zebra print Steeler pants.
That's what's up, bro. Shout out to you. All right, nephews. This prompt right here is interesting to me. And I feel like it's doing two things at the same time. When she says my real life superpower is attracting men that find their forever home after me, but nah, it's really never finding the right guy. On the surface, this sounds like humor, but this is actually a very revealing statement. All right, the first layer, yeah, the self-depreciating humor. She's joking about a pattern, but she's saying is guys date me, and then the next woman they meet becomes their wife. Now,
So in
I've
other
heard
words,
women say this sometimes, and that's what I would call the starter girlfriend narrative.
Bruh.
yeah, so
All
she
right.
pushes boundaries. The guys decide not to put up with it any longer, and the next girl they get with, they know what they're going to put up with and what they won't.
Well, now she's trying to soften it with humor, but it still reveals something important because she believes there's a pattern in her dating history. Now, the second layer to this, nephews, I would say is victim framing. The second half
Yeah,
says never finding the right guy.
yeah,
Now,
she's not putting together the common denominator here.
that phrase is a signal, nephews, because whenever someone frames their entire dating history as I just keep meeting the wrong people, a self-governed man hears that and thinks, okay, but what choices led to that pattern?
Yeah.
Because patterns usually come from selection. Who we choose, who we ignore, who we tolerate. Really, I think this is kind of a psychological signal, Johnny. The line tells us that she has probably experienced multiple relationships, men who didn't commit, probably situationships, and maybe men who moved on quickly. So she's aware of the pattern, but she's still framing it as bad luck rather than dating strategy. And nephews, this
Yeah.
does not make her a bad person, but it is something that you should observe carefully. Now, here's where a lot of men mess up. All right, they hear something like this and they immediately jump into reassurance mode. They start things like, oh, well, those guys were stupid, or you just haven't found the right one yet. And now
Meanwhile,
suddenly
if you
the man
tell
is
them your
trying to,
last three girlfriends in a row were crazy, they think that they're going to think exactly what we're talking about here.
well, now the man is thinking he has to prove himself different.
Yep.
Nephews, that's not the move. All right, the move is curiosity and observation. Because if there is a pattern, you want to understand what kind of man has she been choosing. All right, if you match with someone who says, all right, if you match with somebody, you got to keep it like this. You need to keep it light and curious. All right, like right now, I'm curious. All right, I don't even want to. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. The deeper lesson is that dating isn't just about attraction. It's about patterns, and everyone has them. Men do, women do. The question isn't whether patterns exist. The question is whether someone is aware enough to break them. And that's something that you only discover through vetting over time, nephews.
And more importantly, where does that pattern typically lead? Is it a positive path, negative path? You're going to have to pay attention to those things. Pay attention to those things as well.
All right. The next prompt here says, send me a like if you love confident women comfortable in their own skin and body.
I mean, I definitely do.
Yeah, absolutely. Love confident women. Let me look over this profile. Says, I promise I won't judge you if you don't judge me. We all have a past and we usually learn from them. Like, Johnny, you want to talk about that for a second about learning from our past?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, that's exactly what we are doing here as your uncles, okay? Now, the thing of it is that only you can tell yourself, only you know for sure whether or not you've actually learned from the mistakes of your past and are moving on a positive path. It sounds like this young lady has probably had a bit of a past of her own, whatever it may be. It doesn't really get into that. Um, I think that she, though, is definitely either trying to kind of, I don't want to say like, I guess pre-justify what she's probably going to tell you about her, but I don't know. I mean, it seems strange to put this in the dating profile because I don't know you. How would I judge you? Um, I feel like that's the kind of thing that would take place in a later, deeper conversation, rather than the answer to a prompt.
Well, I gotta say, prompts like this, they're helpful because they tell you how somebody sees themselves. All right. You get a preview of the identity they want you to recognize. Shout out to Kay Zag over at Manhood as a Skill Set. Return to Manhood on YouTube. He often talks about how when you first meet a woman, you're meeting her representative.
Yeah.
So, look, the smartest men, they don't just react to a woman's identity. They watch over time and see if the behavior matches the description. And that's the real vetting. Johnny, I'm going to pass on this one tonight.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Yep.
Just don't think I'm in alignment here. And you know what? All right, nephews. Before we close tonight's episode of Swipe Smarter, I want to leave you with something that matters more than any individual profile we broke down tonight. Because what you saw tonight wasn't just about Bumble. It was about how men move through modern dating. A lot of guys open these apps and they think that the goal is attention, matches, notifications, validation. But nephews, attention is cheap. And every man watching tonight probably knows a guy who's getting attention from women, but still ends up lonely, frustrated, and confused about why nothing ever really turns into something real. Because matches aren't the goal, alignment is. Alignment requires something most men are never taught: discernment. So tonight, we look at women who are adventurous, women who wanted initiative, women who wanted companionship, women who barely put effort into their profiles. We've seen women with humor, confidence, sarcasm, and personality. And the mistake men make is trying to adapt themselves to every one of those profiles. They become whatever they think the woman wants. And that's the fastest way to lose yourself in dating. A self-governed man doesn't enter dating apps asking, how do I get her to like me? He asks a completely different question. Does this woman belong in my life? Because the moment a man learns to evaluate Instead of chase, everything changes. He stops wasting time on low effort profiles. He stops getting pulled into validation traps. He stops texting for weeks with women who are never serious about meeting. He stops mistaking curiosity for attraction. Because here's the truth men need to hear. Women will match with men they're curious about. Women will text men they're entertained by. But women meet men they respect because respect comes from clarity. Respect comes from direction. Respect comes from a man who knows who he is, who isn't afraid to walk away with situations that don't align with his life. And that's the real lesson of tonight's episode, nephews. Your profile matters, your photo matters, your bio matters, but the thing that matters the most is the man behind the profile, the man who knows how to lead, the man who knows how to vet, the man who knows that attention isn't success. Peace is success. So, nephews, if tonight made you realize your profile needs work, good. That means you're learning. Because once you start moving with intention, discipline, and discernment, dating, well, it stops feeling like chaos and it starts feeling like choice. And that's how you men win in modern dating, not by chasing everyone, but by recognizing the few who are actually aligned with you. And that's it for tonight's episode of Swipe Smarter. Remember, nephews, most men, they're not rejected. They're just simply unqualified. But qualification is a skill, and skills can be learned. So we'll see you next time. Johnny, you got anything you want to say before we wrap this up tonight?
Yeah, remember, your value, like Uncle Bill always says, rests in your own self-respect, not in the desire for you by others. That being said, we'll see you on Monday night. Between now and then, we got an entire long weekend ahead of us. So we will not be there to help you, nor do we have the money to bail you out of jail. So please keep the drugs and alcohol to a minimum. But if you do drink, don't drive. And if you do drive, don't park. Because accidents cause people. Behave yourselves.
We appreciate you watching, nephews. God bless the real. We out.
Yeah.